This episode contains discussions of the murder of Christina Grimmie. Listen at your own discretion. It is Wednesday, the 5th of February, 2025. My name is Pigeon and this is my song of the day. Today we're talking about a song by Joji. We previously talked about his song Run. If you don't remember, Joji was a YouTuber using the name Filthy Frank. He did comedy music under the name Pink Guy, and then he decided to pursue a music career and make pretty serious music. And it's really good, to the surprise of many, including myself, because I didn't like Filthy Frank at all. This song that we're talking about today is called Glimpse of Us. It's his most successful song to date, and he didn't write it, which maybe says something. It was the first track on his album Smithereens, which is wild to start an album with this, because, oh my god, this is one of the saddest songs I've ever heard. And it's not even that the content is that unique, I guess. It's just phrased so well and the music sounds so good. I just love this song. It's got a great music video, but I haven't rewatched. I've only watched it once. I'm not going to watch it now. But if I recall correctly, there's like vomiting and stuff. So just if you're sensitive to kind of gross imagery, maybe don't watch the music video. But it does kind of depict what's the mood of the song very well, I think. Anyway, I think we should just go listen to it and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And that's Glimpse of Us by Joji. Now, remember how I said that that song wasn't written by Joji? I'm not really surprised by that, in a sense that, like, this happens all the time in the music industry. Professional songwriters will write a song and then they'll see what singer wants to sing it. This song was originally offered to Charlie Puth, of all people, and I can imagine him singing it, frankly. But I'm so glad Joji got it, because I love his version of it. I love his vocals on this song. However, what I was surprised by is what the song was actually inspired by. I only learned this yesterday when I was researching to record this episode. One of the songwriters in the song is a guy called Riley McDonough. He's one of the members of Before You Exit, who are a pop band I've never heard of. And Riley McDonough was close friends with Christina Grimmie. If you don't know who Christina Grimmie is, I'd frankly be surprised. Christina Grimmie was herself a singer. She posted stuff on YouTube. She released some music. She got really popular. She was on The Voice. Adam Levine was her coach. He signed her to his record label, all this sort of stuff. And then suddenly, at the age of 22, after performing with Before You Exit, the band that this guy was in, she was doing a meet and greet with fans after the concert, and a man walked up and shot her and killed her. And it's just this, just senseless, she was 22. She was so young. It's such a wild thing to have happened. It's such a tragedy at the start of her career, And so Riley McDonough, after this happened, obviously was quite distraught about it. And he recorded a voice memo where he was calling out to God, and he said, "If only I could catch a glimpse of you," talking about Christina Grimmie. And he saved this voice memo as Glimpse. And then when he was doing a writing session with a bunch of other people, he was going through his voice memos for ideas and came across this and wrote the song. And it's just wild, because that's not what this song is about. It's not about Christina Grimmie, but that's where it originated, and I just was not expecting that at all. Good Lord. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the no less depressing subject of the song. The song is about trying to move on after a breakup, getting into a new relationship, but the new relationship just reminds you of your old one, and it's hard to move on. And I know that feeling. I know what this is like. This is a sadly relatable concept, and it was used a lot in sad edits on TikTok. So, let's talk about the lyrics. She'd take the world off my shoulders if it was ever hard to move. She'd turn the rain to a rainbow when I was living in the blue. Why then, if she's so perfect, do I still wish that it was you? Perfect don't mean that it's working, so what can I do when you're out of sight in my mind? So, starts off talking about how perfect someone was. She'd take the world off my shoulders if it was ever hard to move. Atlas holding the world up. Very simple kind of literal metaphor sort of idea. Sharing in problems, helping when he was upset, she would help with that kind of thing. She'd take the burden off his shoulders, right? She'd turn the rain to a rainbow when I was living in the blue. Kind of puns about colors, but I like that. Why then, if she's so perfect, do I still wish that it was you? So what's interesting here is that he's talking about his present partner and talking about how great she is. But then he says, why then if she's so perfect, do I still wish that it was you? So then it's the twist of he's not talking about his previous partner, he's talking about his current partner and saying how she's objectively great, but I miss you. Perfect don't mean that it's working, so what can I do? When you're out of sight, in my mind. A play on the classic phrase, out of sight, out of mind. Just because she's not there doesn't mean he's not thinking about her, right? And the chorus is, because sometimes I look in her eyes and that's where I find a glimpse of us, and I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Said I'm fine and said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. Good Lord. Yeah, so he's saying that he looks in her eyes and he finds a glimpse of us. You know, he looks into this person who he loves and, you know, loves him, and he sees a previous love. And for a moment, that makes sense to him, you know. I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. He wants to be in love with this person. He wants to fall in love with the way that she touches him, and that doesn't have to be a sexual thing. But I'm thinking of the way it was, you know. It's hard for him to reconcile it with his previous experience. Said I'm fine and said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. And that's the real sad part. It's just I, you know, want to pretend that I'm okay and that I've moved on, but in reality, I'm just doing this to try and recapture the previous spark of my previous relationship, and that's not fair to the person he's with, you know. It's not fair to himself either, or the previous partner for that matter. It's not fair to anyone in the situation, but it's such a unfortunately relatable concept. Tell me he savors your glory. Does he laugh the way I did? Is this a part of your story, one that I had never lived? Maybe one day you'll feel lonely and in his eyes you'll get a glimpse. Maybe he'll start slipping slowly and find me again when you're out of sight in my mind. And then the chorus again. So tell me he savors your glory is such a broad line. I feel like that is not a Joji line to write, which of course wasn't, but like, you know, he's saying like, I hope that at least you are fulfilled in your new relationship. Does he laugh the way I did? Feels more like a personal dig, like it's, you know, oh, is he cool like me? Is this a part of your story, one that I had never lived? That sounds like he's saying like, do you tell other people about me, you know? Maybe one day you'll feel lonely and in his eyes you'll get a glimpse. He wants her to feel the same way because it makes him feel more secure about his feelings. Maybe he'll start slipping slowly and find me again. So he's like fantasizing that she feels the same way because he wants them to drift together again. And then the rest of the song is just pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, and the bridge is just ooh, and the chorus again, and that's the whole song. And good God, it hits right to the heart. It's so sad. It's just vocals and piano, but it's just produced so well. It sounds so good, and I love it a lot. And I'm glad that Charlie Puth didn't get his grubby little hands in the song. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about the show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
This is a sadly relatable concept. It hits right to the heart. It's so sad. Oh God. It hits right to the heart.